What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and you know what time it is, boys. Yeah, that's right, 2023. So what are we going to be working on this year, guys? Well, apparently nothing but 2023 model bikes. Take a look at some of the current projects we got going on. We got a 2023 GSX-R 1000 that's already sold, getting set up for the drag strip. So it's going to have a long swing arm, lowered, sitting on the ground, air shifter, the whole 9 yards, ready to rock and roll. Then we got another 2023 GSX-R 1000 that's already sold, getting a full drag pack as well. Going to be pretty close to the same thing. I think they got different exhaust systems, but they're going to be really similar. These builds are going to be featured on the channel here soon. And then of course we got a 2023 Hayabusa that's getting set up for roll race prep. So it's going to be stock wheelbase, and we're going to be roll race prepping this thing, making it roll good, making more horsepower, getting it lowered down, getting exhaust put on it, getting the more Mafia touch and treatment done on every single one of these things. But today's video is on a 2023 ZX10R. All right, guys, here we go. Today, we are worried about this 2023 ZX10R, though. This thing is brand spanking new. It has 50 miles on it, and today, we're gonna be breaking it in on the dyno. Now, how are we gonna do that? We're gonna do that with heat cycles, getting the engine fully hot and then fully cold. So we're gonna be letting our fans run on and off all day long to get this thing broke in. Then hopefully, we'll be able to let her rip tomorrow. We're gonna dyno it, see how much horsepower it has as is. Then we're gonna flash the ECU, remove all the restrictions, and see how much this thing will make with the stock exhaust system. Then we've got an M4 slip-on and a Sprint air filter. We're gonna install those two parts and get us even more horsepower and some sound out of it. This thing sounds pretty much like a vacuum cleaner right now. I'll fire it up, let you hear it run. We've already got the engine warm now. I've been running this thing on and off all day long on the dyno, but she sounds kind of sad. Yeah. Sounds pretty similar to a Dyson vacuum cleaner. Anyways, we're gonna open that up. I'll actually be able to get more sound out of the stock exhaust system. This thing has an exhaust valve, like an actuator inside the factory exhaust pipe. I'll be able to open that up, keep it open all the time. That'll get us a little more rumble, but nothing like that M4 slip-on is gonna do for us, guys. Stay with us, this is gonna be an action-packed video. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. We got a whole lot of stuff going on in this video and a whole lot more videos coming up. Here we go, the stage is set. We've gotten about 3 days worth of heat cycles on this thing. We've done about 10 to 12 heat cycles on it now. We've loaded it a bunch of different times. We literally have been hot, cold on the dyno here since you saw me last, which was about 5 seconds ago for you guys. But anyways, we got this thing all warmed up. We're ready to make our first pulls on the dyno, 0 modifications. Let's run this thing. Then just for fun, I'm gonna unrestrict the ECU, change it around to where this thing is gonna make big power with just an ECU flash. In other words, keep the stock exhaust. Let's kind of sort of see what we can do with this thing. Would you listen to it? Just listen to this little guy. right, so the baseline dyno pull is done. I've got the ECU flashing over here with this computer. Let me go over here to this computer and let's talk about the power curve and the terrible stuff going on in the ECU of this thing. So you can see this thing makes peak power around 11,600 RPMs, 168 horsepower, and 77 foot-pounds of torque was our peak, and it did that about 11,300 RPMs. And then you can see there, the thing just nosedives from there. At 13,500 RPMs, we're making a whopping 89 horsepower and 34 foot-pounds of torque. So you just bought a brand new 1000cc sport bike. You thinking you the man, riding through the streets, just thinking you so cool, but you only got 34 foot-pounds of torque at redline. Why is that, you ask? Well, I'm about to show you. So here's the ECU software. We pull it up, we go to other maps, and then we go down here to our electronic throttle valve table. We click that, then we go over here to sports mode. Now we put it into 5th gear, which is where we dynoed it, and lo and behold, 5th gear, 11,500 RPMs, the thing goes 100% throttle. Here's what your hand is doing. Here's what the ECU is giving you from the factory. So at 13,600 RPMs, you are only getting 25% throttle. What in the world? How, I mean, literally, how is this stuff legal? So anyways, what we do, we go in and we're gonna open all these up. We're gonna make this stuff 1-to-1. So if you give it 100% throttle, you're gonna stay 100% throttle. You wanna stay, you know, all the way down there, not back up here like that. So we're gonna take this ugly power curve we got here and we're gonna make this thing keep going to infinity and beyond. Stay with us, guys. I'm about to show you something really cool here in just a second. ECU is flashed. The fuel is finally dialed in. Check out the results we got out of this thing. Wow. This is a foam stock motorcycle, stock exhaust, stock air filter with just that one Mafia magic touch. I just had to keep messing with it. Look at what we ended up with the stock exhaust system, guys. 188 horsepower and 78 foot-pounds of torque. Oh my God, this thing is insane. Absolute monster. At 13,500 RPMs, look at this. We went from 188 horsepower to 95 horsepower. If we take it on out a little farther where the thing is falling off, we're at 187. We were at 78. So we gained over 100 horsepower with just this ECU Flash and tune. Did I mention we still have a stock exhaust system, stock air filter, and regular 93 octane pump gas? This ZX10 is insane. You can see I've been working into the night to get this thing all finished up. We're gonna call it quits for today. We're going to get the exhaust installed in the morning. That'll be in 3, 2, 1. Wait, whoa, hold on. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the ECU Flash. Or not only are we just opening up the throttle plates in this thing, we also have the ability to go in and lower the fan temps down. We have the ability to disable the factory O2 sensor. We have the ability to disable the exhaust servo motor. So therefore you don't have to buy a servo buddy. We can disable the diesel fuel cut. So you know that awful off the throttle? Literally on this thing, you're riding it, let off just a smidge, boom, the thing nosedives. Literally, it's terrible on these bikes. This honestly, in my opinion, is one of the worst riding bikes out there from the factory. We correct all that. We get rid of that diesel fuel cut. So whenever you let off the throttle, the fuel injectors keep spraying just an ever so slight amount in order to keep the thing, I guess you would say, smooth transition whenever you go to resume throttle. We also disable the top speed limiter. So these things are limited to 186 miles per hour from the factory, maybe 189 on a Kawasaki. Either way, I can't remember, is limited though. We take the limiter off. The gauges, they still only read 189, but the bike will keep pulling beyond that. And any other FI codes, if you have pair valve block off plates or anything like that, we can disable the code for that stuff. And then we go in and correct all the fuel maps and tables. Look at all those numbers. We go in and adjust every single one of those to get the bike dialed in perfectly for you. So anyways, this thing, getting the exhaust in the morning. Remember, 3, 2, 1, take it. Oh yeah, we're back. It's a new day here at the old cycle shop. We got this ZX10 singing a different song today, boys. Yeah, that's right. That big ugly muffler we had, that is all gone. Now we have a new M4 slip-on. Now we've tested this system several times before. I'm gonna close the door so you guys can see. Oh yeah, now we can see a little better. This ZX10R looks super, super good. Way neater, way cleaner, and sounds a million times different. It's no longer singing that same little wimpy song. Way different, boys. So anyways, we're about to let this thing rip and see what kind of power it makes with the new exhaust system. Stay with us. This could be our best performer we've ever had as far as a stock bike with a slip-on goes. The 188 horsepower, definitely the strongest stock motorcycle we've ever had on the dyno, period. While you're at it, guys, go ahead and smash that like button and click the subscribe with the bell so you get all the notifications when we do other videos like this. I'm gonna run this thing without changing the tune any. I got a feeling it's gonna be a good bit too lean because typically we have to add a lot more fuel. Yesterday I had to take away a lot more fuel. So let's see what it does with just this. I bet it might lose power in some spots. Suspected, this thing was crazy lean. Now it did pick up good power though. Look at our red versus our purple line. You can see that the thing really increased in power. Went from 93 to 99, from 78 to 82. So picked up 4 or 5 horsepower, around 7 to 8,000 RPMs. And you can see even here at 10,000, we got a 6 horsepower gain. That's at 10.7, I'm sorry. But it continues to climb the whole way out, and you can see super, super lean conditions all the way across the whole map. I'm about to go back in, change the fueling, and get this thing dialed in to make even more horsepower than the 192 we have right now. Here we go, guys. I'm gonna set you up with a different view so you can hear this thing outside. This thing absolutely screams. Z10 is finished, take a look at these massive gains. So green is run 2. That's what we started out with, 168 horsepower and 77 foot-pounds of torque. You can see we made that horsepower at 11,600 RPMs. Then we jumped up to the blue line, which is the ECU Flash and dyno tune. That was 192 horsepower. And at that same 11,600 RPMs, we made 174. Then we installed a slip-on exhaust and a Sprint air filter, and we jumped up to 179 horsepower at the same spot, but then to 196 horsepower and 82 foot-pounds of torque. Wow, wow, wow. Take a look here at 9,000 RPMs, what we started with and what we finished up with. We started with 117 horsepower, then we jumped up to 132. That is insane gains for a small amount of money, guys. Keep in mind this slip-on exhaust, not very expensive. The ECU Flash, not very expensive. Overall, huge gains. I know you enjoyed this video. You better smash that like button. That helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, be sure to subscribe, click the bell for notifications, because you know you want to come back and watch this channel again. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.